In 2015, we left the rat race and went to the farm. We bought a 100-year-old farmhouse and 9 acres. After 3 years of extensive renovations, we can finally call ourselves College Hill Farm.
Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today we're talking rototillers. I'm up at my barn and getting ready to get my rototiller out, my hand-powered rototiller. I have the big rotary tiller on the back of my tractor. It's 4 feet wide. But when you plant corn, you have to plant corn closer than that. My grandmother, Mom's mom, used to have a saying that if you plant corn, plant it 4 rows wide or else it won't make good. So if you plant your corn and you've noticed that you have some, when you harvest it in the fall, you pull off a lot of these cobs, and when you open them up, you'll see that there's a lot of skipped kernels that are not formed. That's because they didn't pollinate well. Corn pollinates by the tassels putting out the pollen, and it falls down on the silks and fertilizes the kernel. Then the kernel will grow. Well, failed pollination causes those empty places in the cob. If you're getting a lot of those, you don't have your corn planted close enough together. So I have tried this on several occasions, and I found that 90-year-old woman was dead right. So what you need to do is just make sure you have your corn planted close. Now that creates a dilemma for me. I cultivate my corn with a set of cultivators because they're only about 2.5 feet wide, 30 inches. So I can't get my 48-inch tractor tiller down them. Then I cultivate them with cultivators as long as I can, because my tractor is only about that tall off the row. So once the corn gets that tall, I ride it over with my tractor, and you don't want to do that. So your only other option to get rid of those weeds is either a hoe or a rototiller. So I use a rototiller. I've got a little 18-inch wide Craftsman rototiller. Maybe it's 16 inches wide. I don't know. But anyway, it's a great little rototiller, and I'm going to show you how to set it up so that it doesn't work you to death. Here's my rototiller. I've just put it up on the bucket of my tractor on the forks. I use those forks for everything. You can go back and check my other videos about homemade tractor forks. They're just 2x4s. But I want to show you something about tillers. Let me move you a little closer here. Now you'll see on the back of this tiller that there's this sticking down right here, this part. There's a little adjustment right here that you can adjust it, and I'm going to pull that out. I hope I don't make my tiller fall. Now that adjusts up and down. Come here, tiller. Get up under that fork. There we go. Now this adjusts up and down so that your tiller does different depths. You can take this, pull it all the way up, and mine's bent a little bit, but you can pull that all the way up, and the tiller digs to its maximum depth. But you want to know something? Unless you're tilling for the first time, you don't ever need to dig to the maximum depth. Most weeds exist in the first top 2 inches of soil. Now if I pull this all the way up, this is going to take me forever to get down these 100-foot long corn rows. So I only want to till like the first 2 inches of soil. So I've found that if I set this, you pull this out, hold it up there, you can set this to the depth you want it. And generally, I found that my tiller is basically in 1/2 inch to 7/8 of an inch adjustments. It's got a little gauge over here on the side. It don't mean nothing. So I set it this way with 2 holes showing. That's about 2 inches deep. and that will take care of 90% of the weeds, and you can just walk down the row with the tiller like you're just walking. You aren't having to hold and do all that other stuff. So remember, you only set this all the way up when you're going to till deep. Only till about 2 inches deep. According to my thing here, the first hole is just cutting the top of the dirt. The second hole is 7/8 inch deep, and if I put it in the third hole, it's 1 3/4. Well, my ground's already cultivated, so this sticks in the ground a little bit, so it's about 2.5 inches in reality. So I'll show you that when we get down in the field. Okay, I'll see you down in the field. Here we are in the garden. You know, these tillers, when I was a young man, they used to tell us that you could walk behind them and hold them with one hand. That was the big advertisement for these rear tine tillers. We had a front tine tiller when I was a kid, and a front tine tiller is a lot of work, especially for an old fat guy. So I've got a rear tine tiller. I've had it since probably 96, something like that. So it's 22 years old. Is that right? 96 from 118, yeah, 22 years old. So if you get a tiller, you'll keep it a long time. I don't use it a lot. I use it for my corn. Now I showed you how to set it. I've got it set so it just does 2 inches. So then I can pretty much just walk down the row. So I'm just going to set this camera to run on the corn patch there, and you'll see how quick the tiller goes down the row. Well, my tiller's not running right. So in the next video you saw how it plowed to begin with, and then it just died. So in the next video, I guess you're going to see how to take the carburetor on one of these small tillers apart. Okay. I'd like to thank you for visiting with us at College Hill Farm today. I hope you found our videos entertaining and or informative. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on both Facebook and YouTube. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.